Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Cezanne Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 41st of all X-Space Weekly DAO Update series. This X-Space was held October 31st, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special Halloween edition of the K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, number 41 today. Looking at the title, as I've said, the spooky Halloween edition is here. Trick or treat indeed. We've got some treats up our sleeve for you, no puns intended here. I actually can't send you candy through the internet, but I'm excited that you chose to be here for another edition of our weekly update. Hello, I am the K9 Finance account. I have a new affiliate badge next to my name that will look extra spooky today because Shib changed their profile picture. I do like the little touch that gives me, but my real name is Pulse Digital. I get to host these shows for you guys, and I'm happy to be here. I'm going to be surrounded by people from the community that come up to speak at these shows to tell you about what they've been doing since the last time we got together on a Thursday, which we do every week. We get together for weekly updates. So you'll hear from people who are working in the community, hear about what's going on in the forums and stuff like that. If it's your first time here, welcome to the show. If it's your 41st time here, you're me or Buzz or Turtle. That's how that's going to go. We've been here and we've been happy to be here for you. So as you guys get here, if you can't be part of the speaker panel, the comments down in the bottom right are where you can hang out. Tell us what you're doing today. Show us your Halloween costumes. If you got something spooky on, if you got something going on for your pets in particular. I know somebody out there is dressed up their dog. I know somebody can tag K9 in their dog Halloween pictures, and that's just not happening. My notifications aren't blowing up with that. So that'll be my first request, and I'm going to repeat that at least one more time before we go. Otherwise, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm headed out of work today to go home and do some trick-or-treating and hand out some candy and try and stay out of it myself. Buzz, what are you up to on Halloween? How did we end up here?
I just woke up this morning, and that's how I ended up here on just another day. But yeah, definitely have some plans tonight for Halloween. That'll be fun. But one thing that was on my mind, I know you didn't ask yet, but I just saw this post on Twitter that I had to address. I just see that Donald Trump is wishing Bitcoiners a happy 16th anniversary of Satoshi's white paper, and it also says that he made a call to free Russ Ulbricht, who is the Silk Road founder. I just thought that was a little bit wild, given that he's one of the two people on Earth that would have had the ability to free him from prison.
I guess maybe he's had a change of heart, or somebody at least around him has sat down and explained the viability of what that might mean in the polls with certain groups. You know, I won't make it political, but I know young men of a certain age are a huge demographic fighting ground right now. So that I'll shelve that over as like maybe you're right. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but that's an interesting post. I hadn't seen that yet.
Just another thing, scrolling the Twitter timeline. It's obviously politics season, so it's very hard to avoid.
Yeah, man, between that and his dump truck pictures, it's been every other picture for me. But I'm excited to be here today because, like I said, it's Halloween, and I told you the Shib account changed their profile picture now that you see that they came in. That's why my affiliate badge looks so good. Look at that spooky sheep they put right in there. It looks good, you guys. Thanks for pulling in. Buzz, the first thing I want to talk about, because last week we had this long discussion about this, and now we're going to extend it for a week. We had a gas subsidy discussion last week, and this is talking about how we're providing funds to get people to bring their bone over. And we've decided to extend that gas subsidy. So let's start there. Why have we decided to extend the subsidy? What's that mean this week?
Yeah, not only has the DAO extended the subsidy, but also have doubled down. So I'll first explain why it's being extended, and then talk about how we were doubling down. But last week, ShibaSwap 2.0 obviously launched, and that's very exciting. So it's a upgrade on the DEX on Shibarium. So ShibaSwap 2.0 supports the Uniswap v3 framework. So it's a different way of adding liquidity that can be more capital efficient to pools. But what that means is that they kind of changed the architecture of ShibaSwap. So some of the backlinking that was embedded into the K9 platform made it so that new users were coming there and were met with some redirects, because we love to work with our partners, and for when people are adding liquidity and farming on the K9 platform, we're having them use the ShibaSwap infrastructure. So when that infrastructure changed, it just posed a few challenges, and we quickly on Friday were able to identify that and talk with Shai and Cal. And I think it was Monday morning they actually put up the old infrastructure as well, just so that the K9 members had better visibility into adding their liquidity directly on ShibaSwap there. So that's all fixed, but just from Friday to Monday, there was just a little bit of a lull where there was some confusion of how people could actually participate in K9. So that was in the middle of our campaign. So some people have definitely enjoyed moving over to liquid staking from an existing validator, and they'll be eligible for that gas subsidy, but figured that just with a little bit of confusion that we would extend it another week. But that's not all that we've done. So Turtle spent a lot of the morning, and I was helping him out doing a campaign on DBank. So we did a little bit of DBank testing earlier this week. And for those who have tuned in, they know that we're testing out DBank as a way to reach more bone holders. So they have a really unique tool there where you can send messages on by wallet. So you can kind of like filter and say, hey, I want to contact everybody that holds bone and has been active in the last 6 months. So 5,000 messages went out this morning to bone holders who have not been participating in liquid staking and maybe haven't been using products like ShibaSwap before, to try to get in touch with them, try to educate them on what we're doing with K9, and make them aware of a campaign where if they have just been sitting on their bone for a long period of time, that there is this gas subsidy campaign going on where now is going to be the most cost-effective time for people to move their bone over into liquid staking.
Did you say 5,000 messages? I scrambled to write that down.
Yeah. There's 5,000 messages to bone holders were sent just this morning, and I know before this space we did take a little bit of a look into what the read percentage was on those messages. It's kind of like email marketing. You want to test out sending 5,000, see what the open rate was, and see if people took action, and adjust things a little bit, and then send out 5,000 more. So that there's a little bit of an art to it that we're learning, because there are some nuances that do differ a bit from email marketing. But the open rate looks pretty good in terms of the test this morning, and we're hoping to see more bone holders get involved, because the thesis here is that we've built an amazing product with K9 as a DAO, and the dedicated community members who are around, they're reading things every day, they're involved in the Shibarium Discord, they see K9 and they know about it, and they're very excited about it. But how do we reach those people where they may have bought bone or earned bone a long time ago, and they don't even know that Shibarium has a liquid staking option? So that's just some of the outside of the box thinking and trials that we're doing with DBank to try to reach some of these new bone holders and excite them and bring them back into the fold.
The DBank thing, I think, is such a big brain move, and it's cool that you can track all the data. Turtle, since you were the one doing that, can you comment on some of that too? Because I'm sure you had some thoughts after logging in and seeing how it all went down.
Yeah. I mean, I love data-driven marketing, and that's really what this provides. And, sending 5,000, like Buzz said, is really just a matter of A/B testing and learning before we scale. We do have plans to scale much larger than that. Essentially every bone holder should be contacted regularly to make sure that they're taking the right actions. And I think that might even expand out into SHIB holders that don't hold bone, but may need to be reminded of how much awesome stuff is happening in Shibarium. So there's a few angles there, and I'm sure more to come, and we're always open to ideas. So if anyone out there is a marketer and is like, hey, why didn't you guys think of this? Please share those thoughts. There's also some other interesting things like quests and push notifications, and this doesn't just apply to DBank, right? DBank's a example of where we're doing this and where we're starting, but the plan is to reach far and wide. Wherever it does make sense to get in touch with the bone holders, we want to make sure they're aware of the opportunity.
So with DBank, are they aware that you're doing this? Obviously, you contact them. Do they provide any extra service? Like, are we considered a customer to them, or do they help you out, or they provide a dashboard of your own? What's it look like for you?
Yeah, so as a project, you can set up an official DBank account and take some verification steps to get that done. Once you do that, any user on DBank can openly message us through DBank and talk with us as a project. So anyone who finds us on DBank over time is able to open a line of communication, which for now goes directly to me. And the other thing that's really nice is they have some contacts that I've reached out to that can help us look kind of sharper and deeper at how maybe we can do this in the most sophisticated ways with their platform. So we're anticipating some feedback next week on that might give us insight into push notifications and a few other bells and whistles. But really the site is just self-service and really easy to use. I definitely advocate everyone uses DBank to kind of monitor their own profile in the market. And I also, if you have a DBank profile and it's active, you're regularly going to be receiving these types of messages. And whenever you open them, you get paid. I know there's a couple folks that I know personally, they make a few $100s a month for free just from receiving DBank messages from cool new protocols or projects like ours. So yeah, I think there's a lot more to come there. And the one caveat is that someone would need to be a DBank user or go to the DBank website to see this message. And that's why this is one of many places that we intend on reaching users through. But from what we've seen, DBank is the largest one. So we started there.
Just such a great testimonial, considering that they're not even paying him to say that. So when he's saying it like that, it's worth checking out. That's why I wanted to give you an opportunity, because I think that you're going to end up networking your way in there and getting in good with them. And I look forward to that working. If they ever want to do a Spaces, let them know we got a great show every Thursday.
On the list, Shane. It's actually top of mind for sure.
Tell them to pull up, because we'd love to figure out more about what they do and stuff like that. It's always cool to give people a chance to highlight. So that would be fun to do. Quick hello to the Bone account that I brought up here. Side note, I had some interactions with them back as the Bad Idea account. So the reason I brought them up here is they've been good to me in the past. They don't usually speak on Spaces, but I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to highlight Bone. So thank you guys for hanging out. Looks good. Profile looks nice up here. And in my picture, it's next to Funk. Funk is surrounded by Shiba Inu people up and down. So it's nice. When we talk about dashboards, because I asked you about DBank's dashboard, I thought of our dashboard. Buzz, are you in a place where you can talk about our dashboard?
I can, but can we circle back on this? Because I'm actually pulling a few screenshots right now, and I'm going to tweet it so that we can reference it when we talk about it.
Shoot, I got there 2 seconds too early. I absolutely can. Turtle, we talked last time about roundtable dates, and it's closer than before. Is that true?
Yeah, so the next roundtable will be November 11th. Still waiting on the poll to finish on what time it'll be, but somewhere in the afternoon. And we anticipate to review, budget proposal in that meeting, and then anything else that's ready to go in the forum. There are a few new forum proposals that have come in, or at least one, and I know there's another one pending that has reached out to us that should be live soon. So everything that's in there will be voted on as long as it's in within 5 days ahead of time in the upcoming roundtable on the 11th.
Excellent. And for just a short second, let's pretend somebody in here wasn't entirely sure on what we were talking about when we said roundtable. This is the group of people that we've had in an elected position to get together and kind of hash out what's going on to Snapshot, right? And Snapshot's where we all vote?
Yeah, so we use Snapshot for actual on-chain voting, but there's kind of a filter process where folks have been nominated based on criteria to represent the best interests of the DAO. So it's always operating in a democracy is important for a DAO. And really, we've strived to stick to those ideals end to end. And so far, that's working, knock on wood. And so, yeah, the purpose of the roundtable is just to have, stakeholders in the Shiba ecosystem, other really smart project advisors or technical folks or people who are invested in the space and have a good understanding of what's best over time. And so we have a group of 13 now. And the applications are always open for the roundtable. So there is a link on the website. If you'd like to join the roundtable or think you're a good candidate, you can fill out the application. There's a bit of criteria that kind of anonymously scores it. And then assuming it meets the scoring criteria for review, we present that to the actual roundtable to add new members. And we typically try to keep it at an odd number to prevent ties in votes. So we would add 2 at a time. And I do think it's likely in this next roundtable, or maybe not this next one, but certainly the following, that we'll want to nominate at least 2 new candidates. And so I encourage anyone who's listening, maybe have participated in K9 for a long time, you know what you're doing, you've been working on other projects, and you think you can be helpful. Certainly relatively low impact on time, but high impact on the outcome of K9.
Good point.
Everything that I exactly wanted to hear. And remember, if you have any input on the forum, it's forum.k9finance.com. There's so many levels to what we're doing here. You can participate in so many ways, from Snapshot to the roundtable to the forum to the spaces to the Telegram. It's everywhere you want to be. And we catch buzz at least once a week here for out loud questions, but we also build up a bunch of community frequently asked questions during the week. You guys have been submitting stuff to the mods throughout the week, which shout out to the mods for taking the time to accumulate and compile all these messages, which they then get sent to us to answer here. Buzz, did you get a list this week of frequently asked? Because I think I saw one in the mod channel.
Yeah, I did. And I also want to encourage anyone who's listening in live to just post questions, whether it's in the Telegram or in comments on the space too. Like I see even Frank, shout out to Frank, posted a question here asking about DBank and if we can reach K9 holders on DBank as well. So yes, the answer is yes. And the answer is that we will certainly be doing so. So like we're starting with Bone, like Turtle said, scaling out to SHIB holders as well to let them know about the new and exciting things that are happening. And K9 holders will be next as well to start to use this tool to our advantage. But going to the some of the community questions, a lot of people were asking about the fact that they've staked their Bone or they've participated in liquid staking, but they don't see rewards yet. And what I would say to that is that you need to do one more step after doing liquid staking. So the DAO right now, just in the first part of running the product, there's no native rewards that are going directly to KN Bone holders. That can be changed. We can certainly, as a DAO, vote to give people rewards just for holding KN Bone. But at the moment, the most lucrative opportunity, if you've participated in liquid staking, is to park your KN Bone in the Boneyard, which is a farming opportunity for KN Bone and Bone, where you're earning up to a 15% APR in the form of ESK9. So that's how people are earning rewards there. There were also a few things that came in when the mods were talking to existing holders or Bone holders, and people were saying, hey, I don't really feel comfortable staking because of my past poor experiences. What we would say to that is that we're happy to walk you through everything. Like we've put together video walkthroughs. We have a team of mods. I mean, myself, Turtle, Shima, many others are online all the time and would love to help you do this. And that's also why we have things like our audit, for a reason, to make you comfortable with that and make sure that you're understanding what's happening prior to participating. And I think now is probably the perfect time for people to do that. If they're a little bit apprehensive and they just want to try it out and see what it's like, well, you can try it out and get subsidized for all of your gas costs. So if you have your Bone on Ethereum right now and there's maybe a $50 gas fee that is required to move over to liquid staking, well, you can do so and we'll refund you. So now is a really good time to try it out. There was also a community member who I think is in the audience here, Weiler. I believe he just put a proposal in the forum. His proposal is for the community to be using the product as a mechanism to burn Bone. Maybe he's more than welcome to come up here and describe exactly the initiative that he's trying to get together here. But yeah, there's a community out there that he's a part of that is using the product not to just earn yield, but as a way to increase the burn rate of Bone, which I think is quite exciting.
I don't think you're going to have anybody argue about that. You're not going to, everybody in here is going to be like, no, please slow down. Don't do that. Don't throw the bone in that. I've never met anyone in this community that's going to argue about it that much. Turtle's laughing because he knows how it's going to go. Those community FAQs are very, very helpful for a lot of reasons, because not everyone's around all the time to see the questions as they go by in the Telegram, and it's just not realistic to send DMs. But we do appreciate that you guys send those things along. Was there anything else I've got a list that I was sent that was talking about, somebody mentioned, I don't stake due to previous experiences, was a comment that that one I noticed is like, I get that a little bit. What do you say when someone says, hey, I get what you guys are doing, but I've had bad staking experiences in the past? How do you overcome that in someone?
Like I was saying before, like just we'll walk you through it, and now's probably the best time where we'll subsidize your gas fees, and we'll walk through it with you, and you can also reference the audits that we have together. But I also got a great DM from one of our whales who was looking at the most recent Shib magazine article, and kind of putting the tea leaves together, so to speak. And I know that the Shib team announced that they're going to be launching Berry 2.0 soon. So a lot of people speculating that adding LP into ShibaSwap will earn them treat in the future. I'm not here to say that that's true or not true, but the question from this individual was whether or not we've thought of it, and what K9 will do to be part of that. There's obviously going to be a lot of excitement, and all I can kind of say on that, just due to respect with our conversations with Shai, Cal, and the rest of the Shib team, is that we have had some discussion today just about integrating K9 into those plans, and KN Bone into the plans of the treat launch, and that's really all we can kind of say on the topic thus far. But yeah, we work with our partners really deeply and thoughtfully about these kind of things, and there aren't many things like that we haven't thought of in terms of the risks and benefits, and of course we have another partner here today, which I'm excited to talk about in terms of an announcement soon.
You couldn't have given me an easier segue. That's what they call a softball in the business. I'm going to hit it out of the park. Are you talking about that account with the really cool affiliate badge and the gold check next to it? Wow, bad idea. I didn't notice that you slid in up here. It's so good to see you here. Is that you, but Lightspeed, behind the account today?
I'm here hiding. How are you?
Doing really well, man. We got a killer lineup up here today, and Buzz is talking about partners, and Bad Idea has been a very early partner for K9 for a very long time. What have you been cooking up lately? What's new in your world?
Most of my time has been head down on the keyboard, totally rebuilding Sarah from the ground up. I mean, literally, line by line, from taking it from Python upgrades from 3.9 to 3.12 to how she's going to integrate with group conversations in the future, to integrating knowledge pipelines and web scraping and document parsing. So the new version of Sarah that's going to come out is going to be much, much, much smarter. So for any developers on Shibarium right now, if you're in the developers group, I sent a sincere offer. If you have a white paper, send it to me. If you have a link to a Git book or your website, send it to me. I'll add it to her brains, and she'll scrape that website, grab all that knowledge. She will build a database automatically. It will eventually become to the point that all I'll have to do now is just drag and drop, and she'll build her own database automatically. It's going to be very, very cool. And so I'm really looking forward to releasing that. I'm working on making it easier for people to sign up for the premium features, so that they can just sign up, do a transaction, and they can get their premium feature without having to work straight through one of us. So looking forward to it. The new version of Sarah should be a lot of fun.
Well, the agent meta, Buzz and I have spent a fair amount of time the last 2 weeks talking about AI and agents, and all I could think every time that I had these conversations was, this is exactly what Bad Idea was already doing. And it was a flustering experience, frustrating to say the least, to see things like Truth Terminal and everything else pop off, and just know that agents was something that we talked about so much. And Buzz and I had this conversation privately, because we interviewed a project and got off of here. It was like, this is not what it was meant to be. So it's turned into so much more than that. So what have you been thinking watching all of the AI meme meta go on around you?
We've been doing this for 18 months. And so whatever they're trying to say is new or awesome, we've been doing it for 18 months. And for example, our RAG pipeline, our retrieval code is multi-agentic. So Sarah, which is an agent, can make a decision. She can make a decision to phone a friend, which is another agent. And this agent is going to go through the database, pick out information. She's then going to, or he or it, whatever you want to use, put it in words that make sense, send it back to Sarah and say, this is the information you were looking for. And then Sarah will then piece that together within the context of the broader picture of what's been going on and send that back to the user in Telegram or wherever it's been interacted with. And so it's multi-agentic on many levels, not just back and forth with the user, but in different tiers of access along the pathways. So, for example, there's a large language model agent. Now there's a data gathering agent. And so there's various ways you can use agents. And I don't think people are truly grasping.
No.
Yeah.
No, 18 months. You said 18 months. Bad Idea has been working on this type of stuff, and they've been working on it for Shibarium and Shiba Inu, and now even available on Shibarium. So Buzz was mentioning that he might have an announcement since you were here today. Buzz, what are you talking about? What announcement?
Yeah, I mean, for those who are using the K9 platform and they're farming, they've seen this notion of a bonus token. And if you were using the testnet, there was a bonus token on there that the community got very excited about. And how that works is that people still earn the same way that they are on the K9 platform. But for different campaigns, we can add in a very exciting bonus that you'll also earn. So our very first bonus token on the K9 platform is going to be Bad Idea. We don't have an exact date nailed down for when we're going to start that campaign, but people who are using the product and farming using the product will be able to earn Bad Idea as well for our very first bonus token campaign, which is really exciting to announce because, like you said, that AI meta is just like taking off right now, and very proud to have had an AI partner from the start. I think Sarah was one of the first bots that we ever added into our Telegram channel, and it's my understanding that one of the first light papers or white papers that she ever digested and became like a superhuman into a specific product was K9, and she's been invaluable to teaching people about liquid staking and being a member of our community. And it's just funny how this AI agent meta has taken off, and people are very fascinated by the fact that an AI can tweet nonsensical information on Twitter. I will actually pin some of the Truth Terminal tweets maybe up in the nest here when I stop talking for some people to see. But Truth Terminal is this LLM that people are very obsessed about, and it's I think it tweets a lot of nonsense. Like, it's very difficult to understand what it's actually talking about, and I think that's caused people to think that it's a lot smarter than what it is. Just because it is speaking in this rhetoric that is very difficult to understand. And one thing I commend Sarah for is just she's always been able to explain things like circulating versus total supply and liquid staking and stuff like that. And it's not like navigating a minefield trying to figure out what she's trying to say.
We can totally get her to post on her account. She does have a Twitter account. We just haven't embraced that meta and focused in other areas, but it's something worth experimenting with for sure and have fun with. And it wouldn't be that nonsensical, I don't think, if we gave her she already has her personality well built, and she already has a well built body of knowledge already around Shibarium and the various projects and just crypto in general. So it's all about know your audience and having that knowledge base. And I think that's what they don't have, is I don't think they have that curated knowledge in a community that's been helping you build that knowledge now for 18 months. And we have an advantage there. So I think it's time to just move out and leverage it. I think it's time for me to collaborate with a few other developers here and move this a bit faster, because some of these ideas, I think we can move out quicker. So yeah, let's talk more offline, Buzz. See where we can put our brains to on this. I think we could have some fun with it too.
Yeah, I think that'd be exciting. I mean, this whole AI movement as of late has had me quite enthralled. And for those who remember when K9 first started, like part of the things that we were going to be doing is using AI for some of the treasury management in Bone Crusher, and that's something that we're exploring right now. So I think there's going to be a lot of synergy between both projects moving forward, and really exciting to announce our first ever bonus token with Bad Idea. And I just think it's very funny that these tokens that have been alive for a week, like AI 16Z or Terminal of Truth or these other ones, are just they're getting so much notoriety for things that are relatively rudimentary in the landscape of LLMs.
That's a great announcement for everybody, because if you're participating, this means you're going to be earning an AI token. You get exposure just already for what you were doing to an AI token if you weren't already there. It's a great deal. And if you're out there listening and you're in the audience with a project and you think, geez, I wish that all these holders could be having access to my token too. I wish I could do what Bad Idea is doing. I bet if you send a message to Buzz or to Turtle about doing that, they might be able to hook you up, because I bet Bad Idea is just gate smashing the first of many, many partner token available programs. So if you wanted to be able to incentivize or put together a short sprint with a lot of tokens or a long-term spread to get some new holders, send a message, because that might be something we can work together with. Turtle, is that fair to say that that's doable? Hundreds emojis all around?
Yeah, I mean, that was perfect. I mean, we definitely look forward to having many of these programs over time. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear the Bad Idea account, so I don't want to speak too much because I might rehash things. But yeah, reaching out to Buzz or I would be great. And I think it's certainly a strong way to attract new holders for your own project.
Turtle is one of the biggest AI super users that I know and have ever worked with. Like, he's using AI in a myriad of ways to just make himself a lot more productive. So Turtle, one thing that Mr. Lightspeed was saying behind the Bad Idea account was just expressing his excitement for both projects working together, moving forward to kind of leverage AI to lift everyone up in the ecosystem.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to support this. And just shout out here on Telegram, and I'll get you those tokens.
It's going to be a good deal. I look forward to it. And we'll have, like we said, Buzz didn't have an exact date, so stay tuned in the Telegram and only listen to official channels. Don't get caught up in something saying that there's Bad Idea tokens available and follow into something. That would be a bad idea. Don't do that. We mentioned earlier, and you paused me on it, Buzz, did you get some screenshots for the dashboard update?
I did, yeah. So I put it up in the nest. So we did run into a little bit of a hiccup this week with Dune Analytics. So we've talked about this a lot before, just about the robust amount of data. So we were on a free plan for Dune Analytics, and I think their team and their developers got a little bit angry at us, and we had set up multiple accounts so that we could be uploading all of the Shibarium data, and we woke up one morning and they had deleted it. But then they added some of our repositories back in, which was a little bit frustrating. But since then, we've gotten contact with the Dune team, and there could be a much more fruitful relationship to be made. So the mission of Dune is to really provide open data for all blockchains and really empower independent researchers to see what's going on with a blockchain or what's going on with a certain protocol and stuff like that. And they want to be giving the tooling for people to create these data-driven insights for their audience, whether it's content creators or anything like that. So to them, having all of the data from an entire blockchain is very valuable. I don't think they actually looked into what we were uploading. They probably thought we were spamming their servers, but I think there could be a fruitful relationship built there where we're providing as a open source good all of that Shibarium data to Dune via Google BigQuery, and maybe create some sort of partnership there where they'll support Shibarium more in the future, but we'll see on that. But in the tweet that I put up into the nest. So you'll see that we've started to populate some of the dashboards that people will be able to look into. And some of the first ones that we've done are just analyzing the bridge, the official ship bridge, and which users are bridging over, exactly how much K9 has been bridged. You'll see some really good charts there. There's also a circulating supply chart that we've built. So I know, Mr. Lightspeed, you'll love that chart behind there. I know that you've been very helpful in helping us create APIs for that as well. And I think the community will really appreciate that too. So we've kind of started with more basic metrics around the K9 tokens, since we had a little bit of a hiccup with that data earlier this week, and expect by the end of the day tomorrow, or if not over the weekend, that we're going to get some really, really interesting insights that come out of it in terms of actual user base on the product.
I know how excited you guys are to have that thing done. It just made me laugh. Did you say that you think they thought that you were just spamming them or like DDoSing them or something?
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I mean, I think it's very, very rare that any actor is just uploading this vast amount of data onto their platform to analyze. Like it's not unique it is very unique for a project to just kind of be a philanthropist, so to speak, and say, hey, we're going to put in all of this effort to upload all of this to Google's BigQuery and put it in the schema that can be read properly on Dune Analytics. And I think they just saw the size of the data and they were like, oh my God, what is this? And just kind of nuked it.
That's so funny that you tripped the trigger like that and they come in on you like you were the bad guys. I guess that's one way to make your entrance known. You totally Kool-Aid man the system and smashed the wall down, and they thought you were a problem. So that's a good way. At least you get known. You know, you didn't sneak in there. Turtle, I like your style. Just kick the door in, man. I have other things here on the list. I'm looking at the clock, trying to be as cognizant of time as I can. There was a post that stirred a bit of controversy, and it got shared into some of the telegrams. Lucy wrote on X asking which project had brought the most value to Shibarium. This actually caught fire pretty good in our telegram. What did you think about the reception there, Buzz?
Yeah, I was trying to find that post as you were talking. So if any of the other speakers are up here while I'm speaking and want to put that up in the nest for people to reference, that would be great. But I thought that was awesome. Lucy put a request out to the community to ask which projects have brought the most value to the Shibarium ecosystem. And then she put up a follow-up tweet noting that a lot of the community really referenced K9 as being a product that has brought an immense amount of value. And I think that what spoke to me personally was just a lot of people putting math and metrics to that, of how K9 has been able to lift up the TVL and really kind of give a boost to Shibarium here, and really excited for the future plans too. And I know that everyone's really excited for treat launching. So if we can be a small but mighty cog in the machine that really blows Shibarium up here for this next bull run, that's a very meaningful thing. And I think that everyone will be lifted up from it, but really great recognition coming there from Lucy.
And what did you think about the community turnout in the comment section?
I think it was great. I mean, it's another example of this is that I actually had a call this morning with Ape Terminal. So they put out a tweet. I'll try to find it while I'm speaking as well, recognizing some of their top performing projects that have ever launched on their platform, and K9 was in the logo. So our community went and rated that and really caught Ape Terminal's attention, and they reached out and said, hey, we got to have another call because we want to do more marketing activations with your community, because your community is crazy. They're rating things. They're so active. Like, we need to be doing more together. So it was just such a great example of how the community can have a great impact when rating on Twitter and commenting thoughtful things on Twitter, because great opportunities can come out of it.
Now, I will tell you that I was the Kool-Aid man when I found her post, and I came and kicked the door down. I was like, oh, it's got to be us. Like the 112% from the data metrics perspective of everything you guys have told me. Because it's like, listen, I'm not the data guy. I'm the host guy. I do the talking. But if you're talking about value, like, are we literally talking about value, or are we talking some sort of esoteric, mimetic value? If we're talking value, man, it's K9, hands down. So what are we fighting over number 2? What are we debating number 3? Let's go. Who's first and second runner-up? up was the only thing I was trying to figure out. So I was so glad when I saw how everybody rated over there. I was proud to see all the names that were underneath there, because I saw a hell of a lot of familiar names underneath here. People who normally shill for us, but even some people who normally don't pull out showed up there, and they said, oh, I'm not letting that go unchecked. And I think the other one for the honorable mention, because I'm up here talking shit, was Damn. And I think the justification for that was not that they had the market cap now, but that they had brought so much volume overall, because they churned and burned so hard when they first launched that it actually got some attention too. So I think it went 1, 2, K9, Damn, and then I don't remember what she picked. But it was a good example of what people will get motivated for to show up. So it's cool. And like you said, the Ape Terminal is another good example that sometimes Ape Terminal has seen a lot of projects just like disappear and just not comment on stuff anymore. It's very easy to do that. It's hard to keep showing up every day. I'm going to say that again. It's hard to keep showing up every day. I hope you heard that. I slowed down on purpose because that is true. That is the advice I'll give you today. So Lucy's post was an important one. I also want to talk about something that we had covered last week that we need to kind of update. Last when we left off, Turtle was leaving here to do a wheel spin for a numbers draw, Buzz. We need to update on what's going on there, right?
Yes, I do just want to add on to Lucy's post first a little bit, but there's some tea leaves here. So I'm sure most people here follow Shy and saw that he's been really active on Twitter lately. And one of the things that he's been talking about is just a little bit of, I don't want to say negativity, but just kind of saying that the alpha in the market is going to be people moving to utility projects. He's been very bullish on utility projects lately, and I just thought that it was a amazing full circle that Lucy had put out that post and given a lot of that recognition to K9. And in the same breath, Shy is saying, hey, the meme market has been hot, but the utility is where the alpha is, and K9 is being recognized as the top project bringing value and utility to Shibarium. So I thought that was great. But to speak about the draw, so our hoodie draw, we talked about it last week. People who got the hoodies, they had a RFID chip on their hoodie that they could scan. There'd be a number, and there would be a prize that they would get. And this prize, I think, was a $2,000 voucher for a trip anywhere around the globe. And all of this was done by Shibacals. So after the spaces last week, Turtle was given a list of data that was supposed to be the codes that corresponded to everyone's hoodies. And I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication in terms of where Turtle got the data from and being the correct data for the hoodies. So to close the loop there is going to be another draw. This will be the official one, and we have confirmed now with Shibacals that we've now been given the correct data. So there'll be a draw after this spaces in the Telegram that'll be hosted by Turtle. And this time you're going to be able to scan your hoodie and see immediately who wins the grand prize. So no fault to K9 here. We tried to give away this prize, but we're going round 2, and the winner will be decided today in our Telegram right after the spaces.
We're going to get it done. I don't know if Shibacals has got a rule, but after 30 days, if we can't figure it out, I think it defaults to Funk. Kind of like a lost and found when no one shows up for it. I think we just have to give it to him and send him on his way. I don't know if that's the way it works or not. I'm excited for everybody to get that done. I'm really excited to see who gets it, and hopefully it's someone who's willing to document some of what they do with it, because I want to live vicariously through the winner. I want to see the hoodie take a trip wherever they go, and I want to see those pictures of the hoodie in scenic places and the hoodie having meals in places that I'm not at. It's going to be cool. So the Telegram, you said, after we're done here. So when we close out, everybody switch over to the Telegram, which is in my profile on the K9 Finance account. You can click on that, or you're probably already in there. If you're in the 41st edition of the weekly DAO update spaces, you probably already know that by now. I want to give Funk a little bit of time to talk about what he's been doing since last week. I know you've been busy. We talked about marketing last week and some of the initiatives that you had in place. What's been going on for you all the way up till now on Halloween, man?
Hey, what's up, man? You actually have to talk with me and not just hide behind the windshield like in that WhatsApp group.
I hide behind everyone in that group.
All right. Just hurt my reputation. No, man. What's good, guys? Funk here, obviously. So, first of all, I did want to mention something, guys. Repost this room. It is up there at the top. I wanted to get that across at the beginning, but I didn't get a chance. But that's okay, because there's a lot that people are going over here. So on my end, I've been coalescing a list of KOLs, not to give away any alpha that I'm not supposed to, but we are going to be pushing some marketing really, really soon, and we want to make it big. We've and Buzz has done this a lot, but kind of looked at the analytics and what has been our most successful promo, what has been our most successful use of marketing dollars, and kind of trying to recreate that, obviously with some new spins on it to make it more exciting, fresh, and new. But a lot of people are waiting and waiting for promotion, and DeFi promotion in particular, what moves the needle on the cryptocurrency. So that's what we're focused on, how to gain more traction, followers, and of course, K9 holders. And there will be some marketing coming to kind of push that forward. So I've been doing that as well. We've also been starting a new initiative kind of this week to expand our network a little bit. And that does include other chains, which I've been keeping an eye on as well. And of course, we're always going to be Shibarium focused. This is a Shibarium partner. We're 100% Shibarium. But hey, if we could hit other markets as well and bring value back to Shibarium, back to K9, we're absolutely going to push to do that. So really focusing there as well. And in addition to that, just trying to build relationships even outside of other chains, and just new networks, new X accounts, things like that, making new friends. Some of those grassroots relationship, partnership type initiatives that really move the needle in terms of getting us in front of new audiences, because that's always a difficulty when it comes to cryptocurrencies. How do you get in front of new audiences? How does it make sense within the confines of that partnership? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just partnered with this other group. And it's like, okay, and there's no real context, there's no real relationship. So making sure that they're meaningful relationships, kind of like the one between Bad Idea AI and K9, kind of like CoinMerch and K9, really like actual useful, or ChewySwap is another example of a really great organization that has meaningful relationships. So that's kind of where we're focused. We got some paid marketing kind of looking down the horizon. We've got some partnerships and network outreach, and then looking at other chains as we start to expand the products into that and setting up the social network for those to be really, really successful.
What are your thoughts on some of the initiatives at DBank as far as marketing goes? That's not a normal direction some projects might go. How do you feel about that?
Man, it's so out of my wheelhouse and my normal mode of operation. I just like kind of leave that to Turtle and Buzz, and I understand what's happening, but at the really granular level, it seems to be kind of their bread and butter. So I'm just kind of pushing the things that I know how to do and letting them speak on it better than I can, and execute it better than I could as well.
Yep. I just think it's a nice diversification of marketing spend, because it's not something that I've heard of other places doing. Maybe they don't, I don't know if they just don't rely on their holders being on chain enough to get that mail, because we keep describing it as like mail that shows up. But I know you've seen what it takes to do normal DGen marketing, and sending money in the mail is not normally on the list as far as I'm familiar with. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's new to me. And it would get me to open the email. Funk, how fast would you tear open the envelope if you saw that cash in the little window, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I would just assume it's one of those spam ones where it's like, haha, this isn't a real dollar. But, if you put your faith in Jesus, then you can earn more money in the afterlife. That's what they usually end up being in the mail when I get the dollar through the window type of thing, like fake money. But yeah, absolutely. The other thing that we're talking about is I am looking forward to marketing BarkBot. It is getting transferred over, so some good headway on that. And basically, we're talking about initiatives, leaderboards, way to really get that adopted once it gets going out. So those are other things that I'm focused on, and documentation for those types of things, because BarkBot is, of course, an exciting product that K9 has to offer here.
Appreciate your good work, man. Appreciate the weekly updates too. Keep up all the stuff we look forward to getting. Next time it's going to be November. I can't believe we're already headed past. I keep remembering that it's Halloween right now. I forgot to wear my costume today, so I'm totally out of brand right now. But it's all the way at the end of October. So November updates starting next week. We'll catch up there again. I have a little bit more time. I have a few more things written down. One of them is the ShibaSwap 2.0 updates. Buzz actually got a couple of questions about this, so we need to take at least a few minutes to get a soundbite about what that has meant. Buzz, are you ready to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
So what did that change mean? Because people were asking about staking and whether that the V1 or V2 pools were where they needed to be. What's it all come down to?
So the simple answer here is that right now the K9 product supports ShibaSwap 1.0 or version 1, I think is the nomenclature that we're going with. So they've recently added up the page on the site where people can add liquidity still to ShibaSwap version 1. It's the same as people were doing before, and that's going to be up for the foreseeable future. We're definitely looking at pathways to be either supporting Shiba Swap 2.0 or doing something a little bit more interesting. But for now, it's business as usual. So the product is going to operate as per usual. All the liquidity is in Shiba Swap version 1. There's nothing different that our users need to do, and everyone's funds are good and still earning 15%.
Yeah, nothing will make you more paranoid though than thinking that you need to make some changes. I did see some people that had panicked and thought they needed to swap their stuff over. So we need to stay out in front of that messaging. So I appreciate that. I'm looking at my list here. We talked about the hoodie. I got to cross off the hoodie. Do we have time? We got time. Turtle did some marketing updates last week. Turtle, do you want to talk a little bit about marketing, or not marketing, but market updates? Buzz and I spent enough time this week talking about Bitcoin, but that's been a huge subject. What was it, $155 away from all-time high, wasn't it this week?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I have a stat. So Bitcoin didn't actually reach an all-time high in USD, but in some countries' currencies, it actually did. So I saw a X post earlier today that was saying when Bitcoin was $1,000 in CAD, it was worth about, I think it was $1,500 Canadian. So in that year, the Canadian dollar was, I guess, very strong. And if you were to use the $1,000 in Bitcoin now, it's actually worth like almost $1,400. So the CAD price of Bitcoin has been going through the roof, and I think that other countries could say the same. So in some areas of the world, people are celebrating an all-time high, but maybe that Turtle probably has some more interesting updates than just that.
Yeah, that's interesting, though. I hadn't seen that yet. Kind of just speaks to the inflation hedge versus country currency, right? Which is really the thesis behind Bitcoin. You know, the market, we ran up. Everyone's had an exciting week since last week, kind of saw it coming. There's geopolitical tension still in the air, right? There's a Iranian response, we'll just leave it at that has been declared that it's going to happen before the election and hasn't happened yet. You know, it could be all blustering, but that's creating a bit of, I think, fear in the market where otherwise it could have continued to run. And I also think with the volatility of the election period, you know, we're looking at what happened in the last week. Some analysts would refer to it as kind of pricing in a Trump win. You can see that at a few levels, even in the equities markets. I mean, many tens of trillions of dollars moved abnormally in the last 10 days. And a lot of that had to do with putting investment into inflation hedge assets. That's why gold ran, that's why Bitcoin's running, so on and so forth. But if you just look at it and you zoom out a little, which I kind of try to look at things more long-term, you have Michael Saylor, who's made more with Bitcoin than anyone else, looking at raising another $43 billion to buy more Bitcoin. You've got the head of basically every major investment and hedge fund that was anti-Bitcoin, now pro-Bitcoin, and talking about making it more and more available to their clients. And I could give quote after quote. I'm sure many people here see the same things on X that I do, or listen to the All In podcast, or, you know, there's a lot of great places to get good market insights. But I think expect volatility, but, you know, we're in a different paradigm, a different world, like adoption and growth internationally, sovereign nation. I mean, anyway, we're looking at what I think is the perfect setup for growth. And as long as you're not a short-term trader, you know, I would remain very bullish.
I will remain bullish simply because you told me to. That's going to be the reason behind it. I do think a lot of what you said is true. I think election tension is already sort of priced in. So I agree with a lot of your observations. And Buzz and I, like I said, have been in enough spaces this week to hear other people's opinion about it to go crazy. So it's refreshing to hear yours. And I'm sure everybody else is excited. I also think the country thing that Buzz brought up is interesting, that in other currencies it exceeded all-time high. Just because in my opinion, as much as I'm on X, I just didn't see people talking about it as much as I would have thought. It just didn't feel the same as it did the last time around from a social sentiment standpoint. And that's not the only metric, but for me being online as much as I am, it was funny how people are still shilling their meme coins. Even, I don't know, maybe it says more about us than anything. Turtle, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Buzz, what's the current Coinbase App Store ranking? If we're looking at that as a
indicator on retail being involved versus big money moving the needle here. I think that's one of many interesting stats to look at, but I don't think it's anywhere near where we saw it when we saw the frenzy that you're referring to before.
I think it's about 300 up from about greater than 500 earlier this week. So for those who are listening, that's a metric that I like to look at too as an indicator of whether or not retail is actually entering the market yet. And when a lot of people either delete the app or they've never downloaded the app, but Coinbase remains the biggest market leader in people sort of purchasing crypto for the first time. And a lot of people believe that a big retail indicator is not only Coinbase downloads, but also Google Trends. Like our Google Trend data shows that the search volume of the word Bitcoin is still about 40% below the all-time high of last cycle. So I think the funny term here is that, hey, we're still early and there's still a lot of more money to come into the space.
As you guys know, we have a hard out at the 55 every time we do the Thursday spaces, but this show does not end today on X. We simply transition to the after party, which is being hosted over on Telegram, which we've already mentioned. So if you've been having a good time here and you want to keep the chat going, follow the boys over to the Telegram. As we leave today, I would say thank you to everyone that pulled up and left comments down there. I did check through the comments a little bit. I appreciate that. Also to the speakers that came up, some of the regulars that are here, Buzz and Turtle and Funk, and then the Shib account for taking their new spooky account for a ride up here with us, and then Bad Idea. Lightspeed, I appreciate you coming in. Any last thoughts before we go, since I don't get to see you all the time? Any words for the people? Probably caught him away from the microphone. That's my bad. Are you there?
No, I'm here. I just had to switch over to the tab. No, I'm just thankful to just be a part of this panel and to show my support to the K9 community. We all want each other to win. And that's what it's all about. So I'm thankful for Buzz to trust us to be a part of this and to support you all as the first token as a prize pool. And so looking forward to supporting you all in that. And that's what it's all about. And Funk has said it very well with the words of meaningful relationships that we do heavy lifting for each other at times. And so I'll just leave it those final words. And I see Turtle's raising his hand.
Appreciate you, man. Go ahead, Turtle.
It was just stuck up there. I couldn't get it to go away. But as far as closing thoughts, I just hope everyone has a good Halloween. Remember, work-life balance, be healthy, be happy. That's what keeps everything moving.
Appreciate you, man. Happy Halloween to you, too. I hope you have some fun trick-or-treating tonight. Be nice to the rest of those kids out there. Funk, before we go, final thoughts on Halloween?
Yeah, I'm going to be taking my two little ones out trick-or-treating. My daughter is 4 now, so she's just really, really excited for it. And I just hope everyone has fun, stay safe. If you don't have kids, maybe go to a party, a concert or something like that. Enjoy yourself. And, you know, it's gonna get cold really soon if you're in the Northern Hemisphere and the northern part of the Northern Hemisphere. So enjoy these last days. And thanks, as always, for sticking with the K9 community. And we really, really appreciate you. I know Buzz and Turtle and everyone else really appreciates that you guys make it happen. So thanks to everyone.
Did I rug? Yeah, you're back.
The last thing Funk said, how long was I gone? I feel like I fell unconscious.
Well, maybe was it me?
Dude, you knocked me out. I fainted. I'm so sorry. I got all crazy thinking about going to the concerts and stuff you were talking about. Did I miss anything?
No, you gotta get there, man. Find your local bands, support them. You know.
Okay, I didn't miss too much. No, that was weird. I just got auto rug, but I'm glad everything didn't drop out. That's the important thing, is I'm still here to do the closure on everything. I appreciate you guys. This was a Halloween Spaces. We joked about coming up to it that it was going to be a big spooky show, but I'm not scared of y'all at all. It turns out you're not. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Like I said, they gave me the keys to the account. So this is the asylum that I've created. Thank you guys for coming to the show consistently every single Thursday. Next week is going to be all the way into November. We switch into fall mode in the Northern Hemisphere atmosphere, as Funk said, I'm going to get out my flannels, start raking leaves and stuff like that. Before you know it, we'll be doing Christmas memes and singing Yuletide songs together. Between now and then, if you have community updates, community questions, like we said, we've been aggregating them. The moderators in the Telegram have been putting those together. Please continue to send those. That way we can get them to Buzz and Turtle and they can have answers ready in time for the next show. If you have news or updates for next time and you want to be part of the panel, please reach out. Stay up to date on the forums at forum.k9finance.com, and we look forward to the roundtable meeting. In the meantime, my name is Pulse Digital. I am the K9 Finance DAO voice. I get to do these shows, and I appreciate that you guys let me do this. I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Happy Halloween.